Mhm. Morning, everyone. Chaplain Keith here again. We are running just a hair behind. We had one little glitch, but everything's up and running now. We think it was YouTube numbers. Um, Everything tested fine. But anyway, today we're going to talk about what is healing and integrating about. And we listed three things: about time, about listening, and about acceptance. And we'll go into that. And this might actually turn into a two-part thing. I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts in my head. We'll see how it goes today, um, which is okay. So if it goes too long, we'll end it and build on it next week. I want to thank our helpers, my wife Mary, who is videographer, and my brother Paul, who is the technical support. Um, Technical support will be switched over to Mary, and she'll be doing two jobs in a couple of weeks. So we're it might get a little more challenging for us, but we're going to have it work. I do want to announce that December 21st, and we don't have everything set up yet. There'll be more to come with it. But December 31st, which is the summer or the winter solstice, 21st, yes, December 21st. Um, Winter solstice, we're going to have a special gathering at the site where we want to build the spiritual center. Now, that's all I can tell you right now. We will not be here at La Clinica, and we will have it down there. And if anybody wants to show up in person, we ask you email us at fellowship@goodheartchurch.org, and we would send you directions, but it will be outside. So if it's going to be cold, it's late December. If it's going to be cold, you want to dress accordingly. We're not here about how we dress and how we look. We're here about spiritual awakening, spiritual um, growth, and raising the consciousness of the universe. So I don't think our clothes make any difference to that. The only other thing I do want to mention is I got this because of my injury, I got this little hat here. If my hand gets too cold, you'll see me putting it over my hat. That's my hand hat. Just so I don't feel like it's weird, but I do have it here in case my hand gets cold. Um, I don't have the circulation right now through it that I would normally have, and so it gets cold rather quickly. Although I think we'll be all right this summer. We've been here long enough to warm the place up a little bit. I want to invite any light spirits in for this gathering today and ask them to be with us and to support us. Whether it's light spirits on outside in YouTube land, or whether it's light spirits right here with us today. Um, I think that's all the announcements for today. We will get started here in just a moment. I will say that things are healing well with me, and we'll get into a little bit more of that. I'm not dwelling on my physical issues, but I do want to. It has sparked some thought in me about healing in general, and that's where our subject came up from today. So let's go ahead and do our praying to our deity, and then go into a relaxation um, spot where we can accept what we need to do. So let's first take a moment of your time and speak with your own deity in whichever manner you want. Spoken to each person's deity. Let's nod and relax so that we may bring in whatever it is that we are supposed to bring in today, that we are supposed to gather into our spirit, into our body, into our mind. Just go ahead and relax your scalp, relax your temples. Take that crease out from in between your eyes as you relax your forehead, relax your eyelids and your eyes. Relax your cheekbones and your jawbone, dropping that tongue down to the bottom of your mouth. As you relax your ears and neck, drop your shoulders away from your ears and relax them as well. Relax your upper arms, your elbows, your lower arms, your wrists, hands, and fingers. Relax your chest and your upper back, and then your belly, your lower back. As you sink down into whatever you are sitting on, go ahead and relax your hips and your buttocks. Relax your upper legs, your knees, your lower legs, ankles, feet, and toes. Relax into whatever it is with each breath out as we relax into it, becoming aware of what it is we need to gather from this gathering today. You come back to wherever it is you are. Bring yourself back to the room that you're in, to the chair you're sitting on. With yourself receptive and awake to bring in whatever it is for you that is significant today. Give yourself to spirit, to deity, as you come back in and ask that you receive the message that you need today. Okay, everyone. We're all back in what we're doing. What is healing and integrating about? Well, first of all, let's talk about what healing and integrating is. Some people don't like the word healing because when you talk about healing, people are programming teaches us that if you heal something, you're pushing it away. It is something separate from you. It is not part of you. And that's why some people don't like that, because even if we have a physical disease or a mind disease, or um, we think that it's something separate from us. And in truth, it isn't. And that's why we use the word integrating, because everything is part of who we are on this incarnation. So that's why I put the both up here, healing and integrating. As you heal something, you should be integrating it into your body because that's part of you. But what's it all about? What do we do to heal? If you have a physical problem, um, it takes time. It takes time. Well, let's go a little bit deeper in that. Does it only take time for physical ailments, for physical trauma to heal, to integrate into you? You know, as we all know, I've had an accident, and this past week I've had an amputation. And am I integrating that, or am I healing that, or both? Truth of the matter is I'm doing both. And it's going to take time. And take the sensitivity of this is going to take a long time to get over. And you know, this isn't my first rodeo. Almost 50 years ago, I cut a thumb off, and they sewed it back on. And the reason I bring that to your attention is not because of woe is me and so forth, is because I now equate what the healing of this injury to the healing of this injury, because that's all I know. We go to the past to find out how to do things. And I'm finding out as I'm healing in the last few days that this is nowhere near the same as this one. I don't have a lot of the same issues. I don't have a lot of the same pains. I don't have a lot of the same problems, because this one was completely different. So where it takes time to integrate what's happened to me and bring it back into my body and for what it's had, I need to stay in the moment and know that this is not going to be the exact same thing as what I've already had. So there's a lot going on here. So what does this mean? Well, we can go healing in it. That's just healing and integrating about a physical situation. But we can go deeper than that. We can go deeper into it and say, what about healing of our shadow? What about healing of spirit? What about healing of the mind? Don't those all still take time I haven't even gotten to listening yet. I will in a moment. But don't all those take time and acceptance? If you're dealing with your shadow, you have to accept your shadow. Now, these are not necessarily written in the right in any specific order. We have to accept the fact that we have a shadow. Then we have to take the time to deal with it. Now let's qualify time just a little bit. Time in our life in this incarnation is governed by time of Earth, but time on another planet, time in the universe, time in the galaxy may all be different. We go by sunrise to sunset. We go by moonrise to moonset, whatever calendar you want to use. And that's how we govern time. So what if you have two suns on a planet? What if you have two or three moons going around your planet? Is time different? You know, what are the difference in the sizes? Is it all, it's all about our revolution around the sun. It's all about our spinning while we're doing that. So time is relative to where you are. And so in the real scheme of things, this hour that we spend here every week is nothing but a blink of an eye in time. It is said, and I might have mentioned this one other time, but it is said that in God's time, a day in God's time is 1,000 years of our time. So when I figured it out mathematically, if you live to be about 82, you've only lived 2 hours in God's time. So this is a blink of an eye. This hour that we have here it might only be closing of the eyes for that blink. It might not even be that long. So if healing takes us what we feel is forever, because it takes us a year, 2 years, 5 years, or 30 days, and we think that's taking forever to heal us, is it really? Is it really taking that much time? When you look at the bigger scheme of things, the universe has been around for who knows how long, because deity has never started and never stops. So what is time? So let's not get that concerned about the time. The time is only our mental conception of this. The listening and acceptance may be more important than time. You have to accept the issue that you're having, whether it's your shadow, whether it's your spiritual awakening, whether it's your spiritual growth. Maybe you're already awake, and probably anybody that's watching this is somewhat awake, if not completely awake, but they're still on a growing path. We have to accept that that's where we're going. We have to accept that whatever time it takes is acceptable, because that's the way it's supposed to be. So now wait a minute, we haven't even heard about listening. What about listening to your body and knowing what's wrong with it to begin with, so you know what to accept, so you know what is going to happen, what is going on? Do you listen to your body? Had I listened to my body, I wouldn't have this. I think I mentioned that last week, that I had said that I should not have been working. I did not feel like working that day because I was not right in the right mind space. So I didn't listen to my body. But if we truly listen to our bodies, it will tell us why we have the upset stomach. It will tell us why we're having a hard time accepting our spiritual growth. It will tell us why we have our shadows. and what we can do about them. But we have to listen. That's not an easy thing to do because most of us, including myself, like to just get up and work, 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 work. I have been sat on my butt now for several days, and I've had time to listen. I've had time to listen. Maybe not listen as well as I should because I still have other things that are goes on in my head. I feel helpless because I can't help on the land right now. I feel unuseful, not useless, but unuseful. And there is a difference. I feel like I'm some of the pain pills that I've been on have alleviated the pain by certain, but have also not had me thinking straight, given me some foggy headedness about the whole thing. So I haven't maybe listened as well as I can, but maybe that's one of the things that I can still need to do is to sit down and listen to my body to find out what's going on with my right leg and hip, to find out what might be going on with my mind, to find out where I can go further with my shadow, because I've approached my shadow in the past, but maybe it's time to look at more. Maybe it's time to listen to everything about me. Just recently, I had an MRI on a body part of my ankle, and it was about a 20-minute MRI. And I to this still cannot tell you what happened. But about halfway through it, I'm laying on the table, and the only part of me that's in the MRI is from my hip down. And all of a sudden, a hand came over my eyes. There was nobody in the room but me. The technicians were in another room and another behind a curtain. And it was very near as I can describe it, it was a nurturing feeling. Wasn't heavy on my eyes, wasn't um, foreign to me. It was just like a woman's hand laying on my eyes as I'm laying down. And I don't know what that meant. I opened my mouth, opened my eyes about, I don't know, it seemed like I wasn't in the room and covering my eyes. And sure enough, nobody was there. What does this mean? I don't know. I don't know if that was something of a healing process. I don't know if it was a you're okay, everything's fine type situation. I don't know what it was. But I just experienced something else as I was sitting down here doing my prayer with you folks. I closed my eyes and it was like I never closed them. It was like I could see everything but see nothing. I was aware of everything, like maybe this hand completely opened up my third eye. Don't know that yet. I'll find out more in my experience. And why am I sharing this with you today? Because I have to accept and listen to what's going on with me to do the healing that I'm supposed to be doing. It wasn't about my finger. I wasn't even having the MRI on my finger. I was trying to find out what my bum leg is all about. And we're considering that it's possibly from the ankle. So it wasn't even about the issue that I had most recently had. This ankle was twisted in 2017 that I had the MRI on. And I don't know that the hand had anything to do with my ankle or my hip or my knee or my hand. It may have just been taking advantage of me being lying there in a healing receptive area that I was able to accept the healing that hand was going to give me, or accept the whatever it is, and see later on what this means. So I think that was pretty. It was very, very um, strange, but yet beautiful when I had that hand laid on me last night. It was very strange but beautiful when I closed my eyes and I said, "What is going on today? Why do I still see things?" I didn't see the physical things in the room, but I felt like I could see everything like I was in spirit, but could see nothing because I was in spirit. Like I could accept everything that was going on. I could accept the healing. I could accept the destruction. We can destroy in a hurry. I can prove that. And destruction is, I mean, you can look at World War II, how fast we destroyed many parts of this world, and how much time did it take to rebuild it? We have, I mean, you can just go through your mind and think of many, many examples of that. You can think of any war, you can think of any injury, you can think of any catastrophic worldwide natural occurrence, earthquakes, fires, whatever. Things get destroyed in a hurry. And we have to make the renaissance. We have to make the effort to rebuild or to just build again. And I say build again, maybe it's completely different. Maybe you're not rebuilding the same thing, but you're changing the entire way of doing something. So, yeah, it still takes time to do all that. But how do you do it? You have to listen to, okay, World War II. Didn't you have to listen to the other countries and see what they wanted? Didn't you have to accept that it had happened? So everything that we deal with, the minute we build a house, it's being destroyed. Everything is starting to decay the moment you use it. And then you have to, so it's always a circle. It's a circle of destruction and rebuilding, destruction, rebuilding, destruction, rebuilding. And that's the way this world goes around. I would guess that's the way the universe goes around. So, but let's just go a little bit deeper into the shadow. I don't know how much time we've been up. I don't want to get too deep into this because I think my intuition is telling me that there's going to be more to this next week because of my foggy headedness this week. I didn't get everything thought through. But let's just touch on one more thing about all this. Let's go into the shadow for a moment. Okay. And just for a moment, we'll expand on this more next week because I'm not trying to get too far into this, but right now I'll have more on it. But um, you go into the shadow, and we've spoken of the shadow in the past, where most of our shadow comes from the first 7 years of our lives. And we've gone into them. We'll go into it a little bit deeper. I'll review what I've already said and go to this stuff a little bit deeper. But as we do that, we try to accept things in those first 7 years, and we try to manipulate ourselves so that we can be accepted by other people. But as we go into the shadow, we now have to have we have to accept our own stuff. We have to accept that these things happen to us. We have to accept that there is a way of moving through it. We have to accept that this is part of us, that it has become the way we are going to be. And if you tilt that down, I'm going to write underneath acceptance. If you can tilt that down just a hair, um, you have to accept that all these things are going on. That that it's going to take time for you to heal and integrate your past. You have to accept the fact that you have to listen to yourself and see what is actually going on and be truthful with yourself. You have to understand and accept that people that did this to you may not have been may not have known what they were doing, or however they affected you at, whether it be physical trauma or emotional trauma or just their way of being raising a child. You have to accept all these different parts of this shadow. But then here's the big kicker. There's another section to this, and that is, if I can get it on here, forgiveness. We spoke of this in our family just briefly over the last week. It's not just forgiveness of the person that you feel has wronged you, but it's the forgiveness of yourself. It's easier to forgive other people once you've forgiven yourself. Once you've forgiven yourself for whatever it might be. Shadow work is hard because we always want to blame somebody else for something. We have to look at what did we have? Can I forgive myself for not accepting this? Can I forgive myself for you can't forgive yourself necessarily for being wronged because someone else wronged you, but you can forgive yourself for holding on to it for so long. You can forgive yourself for not dealing with it in a manner when you had the right mind to do it. You can forgive yourself for so many parts of this. And that's where you need a mentor or oftentimes a coach to go through shadow work because they will help to show you where and when you can forgive. Keep in mind that when you're dealing with shadow in particular, that um, the shadow, as I said, has to be accepted, but it also happened when you did not have the mind of an adult. So your concept of what happened to you was different. Now you can do more reasoning and you can forgive. Now you can have more acceptance. Now you can listen to what's going on with yourself and you can take the time to do it because now you are in the adult mind. So what is healing and integrating about? It's about a lot of different things. I'm pretty sure I had other thoughts I know that had to do with this that I'm not going to expand on today because it would just get sorry. I don't even have a board long enough maybe. But these are just some of the things I wanted to bring out initially. I want to get into it a little bit deeper next week. I want to pursue it. I would really, really like to get some comments from you folks. Just tell me where you think that your healing should go. How do you feel you should integrate? Any questions on how you should integrate, how you should heal? Who might help you? What kind of professionals might be out there? What kind of spiritual mentoring can help you? What kind of we now have, and it's actually today is the second week, we now have a women's group that is part of the church that meets every other Sunday, every Tuesday, first and third Sunday, I think it is, in this room, very room that we're in now, that my wife runs, and it's a women's group about my wife runs, and it's a women's group about. Well, we'll put it up on the website or on the. We'll do something here shortly. We're gonna hopefully now that I have nothing but time. I'm going to be working on getting the website going hopefully before Thanksgiving, something up on it. So spiritual support. That's another one that my wife just mentions. That's what the women's group is about. It's about spiritual support, self love, and they won't let me wear a kilt and come in. They just won't let me do it. So, but it is for women, and it's at what 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
From 2 to 3, right here at La Clinica, and it is a sponsored by the church, by Good Heart Church. I don't know if that's the right wording or not, but close enough for the moment. So that will probably be added to the website at some point so that there's some forums in there maybe or some blog in there about it or something. We're hoping to get the website up pretty fast now that I have time to do more reviewing of it and not do so much physical labor on the land. So let's get into this a little deeper next week. Bring out some comments, bring out some more subscriptions to our channel. We really would love that. We'd really enjoy having some thumbs up so that it can get into the algorithm to be spread to more people. And we are working on a lot of things that we'll share with you over the next month to 6 weeks about what we're planning on doing to get our message out even further. We're not ready to bring any of that out yet. And we will bring more out about the summer or the winter solstice ceremony or gathering because it is so close to Christmas and other religious holidays and celebrations. So we're going to do something different. And by the way, the 21st, not in some circles, is called the Yule. So we're going to go with that one because it's on our. Well, we do it anyway. Mary and I do it anyway, but it's also just happens to be on a Sunday this year. So we're going to work with that on that Sunday. So as we end this for today, we have any questions or comments, Paul?
No.
Okay. So you want to bring that back over to me? She's standing up, falling asleep on us today. Have a great week. Be part of be part of yourself. Be with you. And be with your higher spirit. Be with your deity. And be spiritual in everything you do.